Hi everybody, it's Kelli McGowan with the Unique Check-In. So happy Easter. Today is Easter Day, and I can talk to you about what happens when you have frontal temporal dementia and you show up at a party or a gathering or something stressful like a funeral or a death. The worst pieces of you that you've never even had before, like the worst imaginable human pieces of you, come out. And I can tell you in the last 5 or 6 years, every time I went to a gathering or an event, I would literally beat myself up. I couldn't believe the stuff that came out of my mouth. Nothing matched with the way that I felt or how I've always delivered myself, and it was just awful and humiliating and a real opportunity to love yourself when you're unlovable. So I got through a lot of that, and I learned a lot and forgave myself and cleaned things up and so on and so forth. But gatherings have always been really hard. And I got a phone call on Thursday that one of my very best friends, the founder of the Center for Inner Peace, Warren Wertheimer, who owned the Rolling Hills Golf Club and so on and so forth. He's a very, very good friend of mine. I saw him at least every 3 or 4 weeks, and we were doing some Qigong work on his knees, and we just got him in good shape, and he's just been here for me, just a rock. He's donated money to me every month so I can make ends meet, or lent me money. He's just been a person who's loaned so many people in the community money and helped everybody. We helped feed people and help families get started, and we gave out thousands of books in the Course in Miracles. Like, we have been in the field of, sharing good information for decades. He was not just the founder of the Center for Inner Peace, but he was a mighty companion to thousands and thousands of people. And he's taken me on trips. We've traveled all through, like, we've gone to Hawaii on a pleasure note with a bunch of other friends, and this is a long time ago. And we've gone down to Temecula and studied with Ken Wapnick, with just he and I, and with groups. We've gone to LA and studied the Course in Miracles there, and went to conferences there with John Posky and all of those guys. And, we've just been through a lot. When I first met Warren, he was a little inappropriate. He was trying to look down my shirt, and the Course in Miracles says, I'm a soul, not a body. I'm free as God created me. And I was really cute when I was younger, and I got a lot of attention, and I didn't expect that from a Course in Miracles person. I gave him a lot of hell about it, and I said, you and I will never do anything together. Well, of course, we came together at heart and did so much good work in the community. If anyone knows any of us, they'd know, the tribe that we created and the things that we did. And we've had special moments in this last couple of years where I lost my life and lost everything that I was out there. But he would still come and visit me, and we'd do things together in lots of different ways, as far as, being little light workers and undercover angels. And he was really proud of me, and I was really proud of him. And he got really sick last year, and he lost a lot of weight. And even in my own demise, I was getting food over to him and trying to help feed him and keep him going. And it was interesting to watch myself show up for him when I couldn't even show up for myself. And he ended up gaining weight and getting better and coming back. Well, he had a fall Thursday after he was leaving an office that was on stairs, and he smacked his head so hard that he had a severe frontal lobe and back lobe brain bleed. And not only does he help me with my rent every month until I sort all this stuff out, he's just been a dear, dear friend and a mighty companion. So I'm supposed to go there tomorrow, and they asked me to be the liaison between all the people and in the community and the family, because they were overwhelmed with phone calls because he was so influential, owning the Rolling Hills Golf Club and all the different things. There was a lot of people coming at the family, and they needed help. So they asked me to be a liaison, and I was honored to do that. And normally with frontal temporal dementia, I botch everything. And anyone who has a cognitive impairment knows that you just can't believe the stuff that comes out of your mouth and the things that you say. But here's the recovery. This is the first time in all of the diagnosis where I showed up. I did what I needed to do. I didn't mess up any of the emails. I showed up at the hospital, and I'm so grateful for all the deaths that I've had in my family, and for working with hospice and suicide prevention center for all the years that I have, because I was there. I walked in, and the room was full of friends and people, and everyone was crying. It was very tense, very stressful, and people were just waiting for him to stop breathing. And I made my way around over to the bed eventually, and it was so beautiful to see a lot of my friends that I hadn't seen in my spiritual advisor Sharon for so long. And it didn't overwhelm me, and I felt like I was really courteous and loving towards the family and mindful, which normally if I'm trying to do one thing, I can't remember to do all those kinds of things. And it was just gracious like I used to be, and so natural. And I miss that girl sometimes so bad. I forgot what it was like to actually be that way. It was so lovely. And I got over there, and I was showering him with all this qi that I'm learning from the lineage from the Yellow Emperor from China about combining the universe and the earth and the sentient beings and the human beings. And this has really been improving a lot of my brain stuff. We do 2.5 hours of meditations a day and a lot of teachings. It's not just that, but that's the essence of it. And that's the title, I should say. And I just poured qi all over him, and I rubbed his face, and I held him, and I told him he was doing a really good job, and to go see the angels. Of course, this was on Easter, Passover. And, I don't know if you remember, but I flatlined on Easter, and my brother ended up dead that night. That was in the year 2000, I think, on April 11th, 411. So that, I've lost a lot of family in April. I mean, we have Tiffany's dad, my mom, Tiffany's grandma, my brother. I mean, there are just handfuls of people that had died between this little 2-week span. Well, actually from January, February, March, April, but in April in particular, many, many, many deaths. And of course, Warren died last night at 7:55 p.m. But the room was tense and everyone was separated. And I've had so much experience of what I wished I had done over all these years, and I said, we need to play his favorite song. What's his favorite song? And he had a birthday party for about 500 people every year, Warren did. And he used to sing, Red, Red Robin, go, ba, ba, ba. So my girlfriend Angelia, who was rubbing his feet, doing his foot massages while I was showering and rubbing his face and showering him with cheek, and we were both praying, and we got the song on the iPhone, and we were, everyone was singing, and then we played a bunch of his favorite music, and everyone was singing, and the music brought everyone together, and it was just so gorgeous because he could hear. That's the last thing to go. And it was such a beautiful, you go into hospital and you usually feel awful and you feel bankrupt and raped by the time you leave. It's just so awful to see somebody going through, their demise. But this was not that way. And it's not just recovery for me, it was recovery of all of the things that I've been through that brought in this information to make these moments really special, and to be able to text his daughter when I left and say, be sure to have everyone hold his hand and take a picture while he's still alive, all your brothers and sisters and your family and everybody. I couldn't have shared all that if I didn't go through all the losses. And this is the way, when you keep doing the work and being a light worker and uncovering all this ego idea of perception of separation and angst, and you keep healing, where eventually I get to turn around and go, I'm so glad that I went through all that death when I was younger, so that I knew how to help people now. And I really know that deeper in my purpose, to facilitate a death in such a beautiful way like that's my calling. I mean, that was just natural, and it was beautiful, and it was easy. But the recovery part is that even the frontal temporal dementia, nothing ugly appeared, no chaos. I was able to get there and get back, and I didn't have a bunch of damage, and I wasn't completely destroyed afterwards. Now, that's a big deal. Usually I can't go to the store without, being depleted for many days. So I was in shock. I even was able to get up this morning and then go meet with my sister-in-law and go for a walk. So to engage in all that and to process one of my best Mighty Companions' death. And not to mention that financially I'm going to have to figure out how to borrow more money from someone else, and, just my own little separate ego thoughts. this is an opportunity for me to just keep remembering I'm healing, and I'm working with teachings that most people don't have access to, and I get to share that with people, and I really am healing. I don't have to worry about financial security. I don't have to worry about that stuff. The path is clear, that if I keep going and I keep healing this way, there's nothing to fear. I mean, nobody has done that, and that, I mean, the possibilities are just amazingly endless there, and I don't know why the ego will just, continuously trick me to thinking, I'm going to do without. Well, I've never done without, and I'm always willing to do my part, and I don't have to even get okay, like totally okay, with living in a shack or living in very minimal circumstances. I mean, that's the kind of money that I make. And so it's all an opportunity for me to know that the universe and God and love and all of this stuff, I mean, that's my source. And this is a charade. Like, all of this stuff here is smoke and mirrors, trying to make me think there's something to be afraid of, instead of being in appreciation and love and beauty and health and joy today, about being in a room full of people that I love and being able to talk and not have this horrible FTD monster run the show and have this horrible FTD presence in my life. It wasn't there yesterday, and it's not there today. That's 2 days under real extreme circumstances, and if I could go for a walk on top of that, man, I got something to offer, and I know that this is going to continue. I was in bed last night, and it's the first time where I was like, oh my God, my hands are not aching. Like, they didn't wake me up 20 times in the night. I was just like, I can feel they're starting to feel like real hands again. And this has been getting a little bit better and a little bit better, but this is a lot better today. I mean, the pain is like dissipating, and they're moving well again, and I'm just in shock. I'm in total shock, and I did expect miracles, but not to this, not this apparent, and this clearly something's going on, and I just am so happy Easter. That's all I can say. The Course in Miracles has a really mockery on, the idea about Jesus dying on the cross for your sins. And it says, if you really look at the story, he didn't die. That's what happens when he came back. Remember, he came back and they rolled across the rock in the Bible. I don't even know about, I don't study the Bible, and I was raised Catholic, and I know enough to know that the story says that he died for your sins. But really, the Course just laughs at that and says, he was telling you there is no death. And so how appropriate, when my friend died, I can really just say that there's no disease and there's no death. Like, Warren's alive in every blade of grass. He's alive in every flower that I see. He's alive in every ray of sunshine. He's part of the whole thing. He's a part of everything. He's more connected to the universe and alive to everything. He's an essence. And I can call upon him and upon any essence, human, flesh, in spirit, sentient, anytime I want, and you feel the presence. So the trick of the ego to think that just because form leaves, that we've been abandoned. If we're in misery, misery will come to that. But if we're in this higher level where I've never been abandoned and I can connect with him anytime, I can feel him, I can hear him, and I do this with my whole family. So that possibility is available. And in the Kabbalah, my name is Shatzbat, which means, I don't know if I say it right because I'm not Kabbalah, but I do know that it's ChetbetvaUve, and that's my name in Kabbalah. And it's that I contact departed souls and elevate them. So I recommend for anybody that you know that's had a transition, that you light a candle, you contact their departed soul, and you just elevate them. You lift them up to the highest frequency, and you set them free, because that's when they can come back and they can support you. How do you think all these teachers from China come to me and let me organize for them and teach me stuff so I can share it with other people when I don't have any cognitive ability to even help them? How do you think that happens? I have a feeling it's a divine matrix of all my departed souls that are helping me out because I'm helping me out. I don't eat processed foods. I don't do the damaging things, watch a lot of TV, even watch a lot of politics or any of that stuff. I feed myself with high-level information, and then high-level information keeps coming in. It's a law of science. Positive ions connect to positive ions, negative ions connect to negative ions. So think about what you're thinking about. And if you put a smile on your face, and you paint yourself up, and you get your paint your cloud pink every morning, and dust yourself off, and start new every day with the best that you got for the day, you keep piling those up and you watch health return. And you keep wanting, I want to wake up. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I was doing a walk on the way home with Linda. We ran into some friends that study a lot of Buddhist things, and she said it takes one person to wake up. And I said, I'm going to be the one to do it. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be Buddha again, to be a holy person. Like, if they say give up garlic and onions, even though it's my favorite food, it's gone. If they say that you use your sexual Jing energy in order to bring in the wisdom and the intelligence of the divine, it's done. And it's not like I'm giving anything up. I've had plenty of Barbies I've played all my life, and they've faded away. And I've had 19 amazing relationships. I've been proposed, I think, 19 times. Beautiful rings, the whole bit. And, I've had many soulmates, and it's not there where I've ever healed and felt love. I've been trying to be special in those relationships instead of knowing that we're all special and we're all even and we're all one. And going from that perspective and trying to awaken the divine in myself and everyone else, there's no one who's not in front of me that I don't fall in love with. So I don't need to make one person make me special. I just want to have the aerial view that we're all perfect and whole and innocent and capable of the divine, capable of healing, capable of supreme intelligence, and capable of recovery. And I don't care what the story is, we can recover. Love ya.